So when you entered VST Union College, were you aware of, like you talked about your experience trying to find accommodation, but were you aware of gender inequality in sort of the academic setting classes, Barbara?
Well, one of the things that my faculty advisor of the time told me was, he said, I know it isn't fair, but women seem to have to work twice as hard as men to end up at the same finish line.
Wow.
And for most of the professors, that wasn't the case, but for a few it was. One particular one, first of all, he didn't like that I was, in one class, I was the only United Church student. The rest were Anglican, and he was an Anglican professor. And he wasn't very keen about that. And secondly, he didn't particularly like women, and I found that I find that class really hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess this, what you're talking about, I don't know what you feel, but maybe was, not just in the theological academic context, but was a reflection of the times too, and what it was like for women.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And the other big example for me, which was a huge defining time for me, both positive and negative, was in towards ordination. I told you there were 3 in our class. We were at kind of the lowest period of United Church enrollment, or at least there were lots of people enrolling in it, but lots didn't ever become ordained.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 3 of us who were in the kind of ordination stream, 2 guys and myself. And when it came time, because we had to be settled by the church in the late 1960s and into the 70s. And so we were told that we needed to choose 3 places across the country where we might be interested in going as our first pastoral charge. And all of us chose 3, and I was told by the person who was going to Toronto to speak on our behalf that we would surely get our first choice, and if not the first, chances are really good we'd get the second or third. So the 2 fellows in my class both got their first choice. I said I would go to, if I remember correctly, Alberta, Manitoba, and Quebec. I just wanted to get out of BC for a time. And I got a phone call from the person who said, we have a spot for you in Blackville, New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And I was kind of caught a little bit off guard by that. And anyway, I said yes. I figured the church knows. And about 2 days later, that might have been on Friday, and on Sunday he phoned to say, Blackfield doesn't want you because you're a woman.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
And the church, at the time, the church, and I'd already been ordained by BC Conference by that time, and the church had to provide a spot for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they sent me to a 5-point pastoral charge in rural Nova Scotia.
Mm-hmm.
On the east coast, right on the south shore of Nova Scotia, halfway between Halifax and Yarmouth, and it felt like I'd been dropped off the edge of the earth.